What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where you already know we bring it to you real and we bring it to you what? Raw. Anyway, today we're going to talk a little bit about pretrial detention. You know, I spent 17 years, 5 months, and 21 days of my life in federal prison, but that counts the county jail, the immigration facility. Don't worry, I wasn't in the process of getting deported. They just used to house us there. Actually, some dudes that were being housed by the feds in our county jail had escaped from there. And once that happened, they're like, yo, we're getting all of our U.S. Marshal prisoners out of there. All our federal prisoners are leaving, and we're sending them to different places. So they take me, and they end up sending me to a place that you would be like, are you kidding me? The Buffalo Federal Detention Center, right? In Batavia, New York. It's actually an immigration facility. It's a place where they're taking a bunch of dudes that are getting out of prison. They're being, sent back to their countries, whether they're going to Somalia, they're going to Kenya, wherever the hell they're going, they're sending these cats back. Pakistan, Canada, Germany. But anyway, I end up in this immigration facility. And let me tell you something. When you get around these types of dudes, some of these dudes didn't commit a crime. Some of these dudes were in the country illegally. They grab them, and they're like, yo, we're shipping you back to your country. There's no criminal charges, but you're heading back, buddy. You've overstayed your visa or your green card, so you're out of here. And when you get around dudes like that, a lot of them dudes, man, pretty much, they try to make it clear to us, the people that are from this country, that they're not criminals. They kind of come across as arrogant, like, yo, we're better than you. We're in your country, but you know what? And you're like, dude, you ain't even from here, bro. And sometimes when you get around dudes that are from the street and you get around these dudes, these guys think that, it's like the street where they can pick up the phone. Yeah, I'm calling the police right now because there's a guy trespassing on my green grass. And dudes from my city are down there, man, when these dudes got out of line, just keeping it real with you, they were slapping these dudes like, whoosh, and you're like, damn, he slapped out. And they're not fighting back. These are grown men that won't fight back. But they'll be smart-mouthed, cocky with their mouths. Anyone that's been in a place like this, or even sometimes in county jails, you get around dudes that just are slick with their mouth. And they've never been to prison. They've never been through nothing. And they're down there and, they're just arrogant. And you get around some real criminals that just slap the shit out of you. But anyway, I'm in this immigration facility, and I end up going to the hole. I get in a fight. I go to the hole. I'm in the hole, and something's going on in the hole that, I'm not used to. At night, these dudes are yelling back and forth from cell to cell, right? And I'm kind of like, damn, man, everybody else is pissed off. Most of the people in there are pissed off. You always get these ignorant dudes, man, that yell back and forth. That stuff didn't used to happen. When I was in New York State prison, for those that don't know, I went to New York State prison when I was 17, right? Ended up doing 2 years, came home. But when the quiet bell went off in places like Attica, and places like Comstock, places like Elmira, they'd ring a bell at night. And when that bell rang, it was quiet time. People went to sleep. People gave other people respect. These were cells. These weren't doors. These were actually bars. So people would give people respect, man, turn their TVs down. Other dudes got to get up and go to work in the morning. But that there was a respect level there, man. When I was in Comstock, Great Meadow Correctional Facility, there was a respect level where if you disrespected in the morning, someone's going to handle that business. You're going to wish that you weren't being disrespectful that night. But the feds, totally different. I don't know if New York State prison's that way anymore, but it's just a different caliber of prisoners that come in these places now. The disrespect is on an astronomical level. But in the beginning of my bid, I was used to, like I said, New York State prison. I'm used to people being quiet at night. Even in the units in the Buffalo Federal Detention Center, 99% of the time, dudes would be quiet, or else the cops would get on you, right? And in that place, people are like, I'm afraid of the cops, right? Yeah. Big tough guys, dudes out here committing crimes, the cops are like, yo, I told you be quiet. They're like, I ain't trying to get rolled up and lose my commissary. And then they lay back and go to sleep. So you really didn't have that issue. But in this hole that I'm in the Buffalo Federal Detention Center, they got like a bubble. The cop's enclosed. He can't hear nothing. And then, they got like not even that many cells down there in the hole, maybe 12, 13 cells at the most. Might have been less. And they got these call boxes. So if you got to get a hold of the cop, you can just hit the little call box. Hey, I need you. I need some toilet paper, whatever. But anyway, the cop don't really care that these dudes are out of control at night, right? No one's saying nothing. And you could tell that, for the first couple nights, man, the dudes that been down there, they're getting frustrated. Sometimes you hear people go, damn, because they're afraid to actually say something. So this went on for 2 or 3 nights. One of the kids was from Buffalo. The other kid was from Brooklyn. He was a blood. Acted like he was the toughest dude in the jail, too hard for the yard. And they're back and forth, back and forth. And probably on the third night, I'm like, hey, yo, what's up, man? They're like, yo, what you mean, what's up? I'm like, hey, man, people are trying to sleep, man. I don't know disrespectful shit, but you know what I'm saying? Y'all be doing this every night. Like, we're trying to sleep. And, the one dude, man, from Buffalo, his name was Mel. He's like, you don't like it, don't come to jail. And I got a story about him later on where I run into him in another prison where he gets on that old booty bandit stuff. But anyway, that might be another story coming soon. So he starts arguing with me. He's beefing with me. I really don't know what this dude looks like, right? I've never seen this dude. He's from Buffalo. I'm from Rochester. But in this federal detention center, the Rochester dudes, there's a lot of us. It's like we're a gang, right? One of the dudes that I talk about on here, Terrence Stinson, T-Rock, he was there at the time. We interviewed, one of the dudes that, was from a major case in my city. Brought him on. DL, Damian Lott was there. T-Real was there. We had a bunch of dudes, man. T-Real ended up with 47 years. Damian Lott ended up with, I think 40. Stinson had 40. Stinson's still in. But anyway, we had a big group of dudes, man. And whenever you're from Rochester, in this environment, it don't matter what color you are. We're like, just keeping it real, we're like a gang, man. We stick together. My homeboy Squirt that I ended up interviewing on this channel, wild dude, Travius Parker. We're all down there, right? And we're tight. So the Buffalo dudes kind of got their own little crew and, whatever they're doing, whatever. But anyway, I know dudes from Buffalo from hearing them talk. I know the other kids from Brooklyn from hearing them talk. So I'm on the gate doing something that you probably should never do in prison. We start beefing on the gate. Kid from Brooklyn, he starts telling me, and I'll never forget this, right? He's like, yo, homie, I'm a blood. I got the 5th floor. And I'm like, at the time, I don't know what the 5th floor is. I don't know what none of that shit means. Like, I don't even care. Like, I'm trying to tell you, bro, be respectful. But they don't want to be respectful. They want to just, talk shit. And then in their cells, people put newspaper, put paper on your light. So you can't really see in these cells, right? But what we do is we come out for a shower. The cop will pop your door. And when you come out, you walk down to the cell with the shower, you take a shower. So, we're beefing. First night, we're beefing, whatever. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, they're pretty much telling me, yo, when we come out the hole, you know what it is. Straight business. This kid's yelling at me, your food. And that was something that the Bloods used to say back then when, they were going to do something to you. Like, in New York State, they'd cut you with a razor in the face, whatever. Like, yo, I'm going to eat your food. Like, what? What? That meant that they were going to cut you. You know what I mean? So anyway, dudes yelling back and forth with me, hey, man, when we get out, man, you know what it is. I'm blood. Yo, this way. Talking all this shit. The kid from Buffalo, which I didn't expect really from him after I got to know him later on in life and everything. You wouldn't expect that from a dude like this, man. You just wouldn't expect that. Well, I don't know. There's some things happened I wouldn't have expected that he did later on, too. But anyway, so we're beefing, whatever. The next day I come out for the shower, and they're on the door. They're like, yo, make sure you see what he looks like. And I'm like, oh, shit, they want to see what I look like. But I had already been plotting. When they go to the shower, I have to see what they look like. So that when I get out of the hole, if they get out first and I end up coming to their unit, I got to be ready. I got to know who the hell I'm beefing with. I got to be ready. So what happens is I come out for that shower. They're like, yo, you see him? You see the white boy right there? There he is. And I had a little size back then, whatever. And now they start talking. I go take a shower. But in my mind, I'm not going to lie to you. In my mind, my heart's racing a little bit like, yo, I'm about to have a beef with these dudes, man. It's going to be an issue. It's definitely going to be an issue. And back then, I was kind of a wild dude. And I'm going to bring on one of the cops that worked there, hopefully. And I'm going to interview him. And he'll get into that stuff. But I was definitely a wild dude. I was known for, fighting back then. It was definitely not something that I passed by. At the drop of a dime. I was facing a 40-year sentence, really didn't care much. Nothing really mattered. So I was definitely, just definitely off the hook, off the chain, just didn't care. So I end up, going to that shower, my heart's racing. I'm thinking, damn, whenever I see these cats, but I'm hoping in my mind, like I get out of the hole before they get out of the hole. That was my thing because I definitely didn't want to go in a unit and run into them. And I was max security. This cat was max security, and they only had 2 max security units. And back then, I think they used to dress you in red. If you're max security, you dressed in red. If you were kind of like the medium security, you got orange. If you were low security, I think them cats, immigration cats, had blue, whatever. So I'm in this I'm in the hole, but I know I'm going back to max security. Come out of the shower, and then, yo, when we see you, and then it's back and forth. And now I'm on the gate. And a lot of people tell you, man, that you should never be a cell warrior. You should never beef on the gate. I knew all those rules from being in prison, right, already, being in New York State prison. But I fell into that, I'm beefing on the thing. They're talking shit, I'm talking shit, and yeah, I probably invited them to, go ahead and suck my, when I see you, and this is what it was. And I guess you could say by the grace of God, I get out of the hole first. I end up getting out of the hole. But, this is a continuous thing for like 2 weeks. Every night, every day, they're harassing me. But I see what they look like. Now, I got to see them. The kid Mel, he comes out, big old afro, got some size on, looks like he's been working out for a while. I'm like, okay. And in my mind, I'm thinking, might have a little trouble with this cat. The blood kid comes out. He's got a bald head, light-skinned kid. He's really from the UK, but grew up in Brooklyn. He's there. He catches a state case, gets done with his state time. He's getting ready to get deported back to the UK. I see him. I'm like, this dude ain't nothing. I'm going to mop this kid up. I'm going to wipe the floor with this cat. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. So I get out of the hole. I go to the unit. And I know from the cops, like, asking, like, when's this dude get out of the hole, whatever. He's getting out 3 days later, right? The kid Mel. I don't remember when the Brooklyn kid was getting out, but I knew that the kid that I felt was a threat was getting out in 3 days. So I go into the unit. I talk to the homie T-Real, Lofton. He's got 47 years. Well, he had 47, got his time knocked down. But I go to him because he's kind of like the dude that everybody respects, right? Big dude. He's from my city. He got hit up with an AK. He ended up living, well-known dude, a dude that was definitely a dangerous dude in the street, turned his life around, became a Christian, but still, he's still that dude, and you better respect him. His arms were bigger than my legs. Dude was always working out. And I'm like, look, man, check this out. I was beefing with this kid, and he starts laughing. He's like, man, we ain't worried about that dude. You know what it is? We ain't worried about him. He's like, I'm going to take care of it. And I'm like, well, dude's coming out in 3 days, whatever, man. If there's an issue, man, I'll just go ahead and get the one-on-one with him. I'm thinking I'll probably have a little trouble with this cat, but, win, lose, or draw, we're going to get it in. So 3 days later, what do you think happens? Dude walks in the unit. As soon as he walks in the unit, now remember, this dude was talking all kinds of big shit to me. I tap T-Real like, that's the dude, man. He's like, man, I know who he is, man. So we walk over there, and pretty much, I'm being ignorant, right? I guess in the beginning, I'm trying to intimidate him. Trying to make him not want to fight me. Because really, I'm not trying to go back to the hole. But I will fight if I have to at the drop of a dime back then. Trust me when I tell you that. So I get a little bit aggressive with the dude. Like, what's up? And he's like, man, listen, man, that shit was in the hole, man. And I'm like, damn, this dude's kind of half-ass copping out. But I don't think he was copping out because of me. I think he was copping out because he knew that, he was in a bad environment. We got like 20 Rochester dudes, and he probably got about 4 Buffalo dudes. It probably isn't going to work out for him. So sometimes, man, it's all right to be like, to let things go, right? To give a person a way out. And really, I guess I was kind of, in a sense, looking for a way out. This kid had a little size on him. Trust me when I tell you that. And we kind of like resolve this shit. We resolve it. T-Real pretty much politics. You hear about prison politics. He politics it out, and dude's like, nah, man, whatever, man. Now the kid wants to shake my hand, but honestly, like I had told this dude, some crazy things in the hole. He told me some crazy things, but I guess we both wanted a way out. So it worked out better that way, but not for his homeboy, not for his man, right? Same type of situation though. I end up getting involved in something. I go to the hole, I get out of the hole again, and I go to this unit where they're kind of like taking all the dudes from the hole and putting them over there. Well, guess what? The Brooklyn kid comes out of the hole. And immediately, I'm like, I'm going to wipe this dude clean. He gets out of the hole, and he's like, look, man, I'm not trying to beef, homie. It is what it is. He wasn't scared. When I tell you he wasn't scared, he was going to fight. We ended up resolving that. Like, damn, man, I started resolving things. Politics, right? But I don't like him, and he don't like me. And it's pretty much known, but we both don't want to be back in the hole. So now he's got this little job where they bring the food to the unit. They push the food in, and he's handing out the food. Well, he's doing some bullshit with the food, like keeping the fruit, playing games with the, he hands out the bread, he hands out the hot tray, the cold tray, because they don't have a kitchen at this prison. They just roll these carts in, and he's the dude that they pick to hand out the food. He's handing out the food, and really, he's giving me respect, right? Like he'll give me the shit that I got coming. But for the other dudes, like the immigrants and stuff like that, he's kind of like keeping all the ketchup, keeping all the mustard when the burgers come. He's playing games with the bread. A lot of dudes don't have money in there. So they had a toaster in there, but they used to get, 4 or 5 extra loaves of bread. You can make toast, whatever. They had cinnamon on the commissary. People are making, cinnamon sugar toast because you're hungry at night. You got nothing to eat. And the trays over there were super, super small. So dudes were definitely hungry. This cat starts, keeping the fruit. Like if they got apples, he's not giving people their apples. He's just doing some bullshit. And it was kind of like, I was kind of in one of the moods where I'm like, yo, bro, I don't like this dude, man. This is going to be the excuse. I don't want to be in this unit no more. I'm going to use him as a way to get out of here. And definitely I already want to do something to this dude for the way he was talking to me in the hole and all that tough guy shit. We resolved it because we didn't want to go to the hole. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, man, I want out of this unit. I'm cool with leaving this unit. So he does some bullshit with the bread, right? He's been taking some commissary from some dudes and he does some bullshit with the bread and the ketchup. And I'm like, yo, man, you keep taking all the food and shit. He's like, yo, man, you get yours? And I'm like, yeah, I get mine. He said, don't worry about the rest of these people, man. Mind your business. It's prison. I'm like, nah, bro. You're doing the wrong shit. You ain't doing the right shit. You're supposed to be giving these people their stuff. And he's like, man, what's up, man? You trying to see me? And I'm like, yeah, I've been trying to see you. So he's like, let's hit the back of the unit. So we get to the back of the unit and we put our hands together. Boom. Put our hands up. We're getting ready to rock, right? Boom, boom. I do catch the kid twice. When I catch him, he hits his head into the wall like boom. And I see his eyes roll back. And I hesitated, man. I did something that you're never supposed to do in prison. When his eyes rolled back, I think I got a little bit scared. Like, oh, shit, I ain't trying to kill this kid. I didn't mean for his head to hit the wall. So his eyes roll back. I hesitate. He gets himself together. And he's like, ah! And he grabs me. When he grabs me, he bites me in the face. He's got a hold of my face right here, right? And now all I could do is kind of talk to him. I'm holding him. I'm like, hey, man, be a man. Let's fight. You was talking all that shit. Let's fight. And I'm talking to him while he's biting my face. He's biting my face. The cop, who I'm going to probably bring on, he's working the unit. He hits the deuces. I cannot get this kid off my face, man. Honestly, I reach down, try to grab his balls. I'm squeezing his balls. He's biting and biting. I'm like, damn. And what I'm thinking in my mind is, this dude's going to take a piece of my face out. I'm thinking this, right? Not even, it hurt, but not to the point where, you panic or not. I'm just holding him. I'm trying to keep him close because I don't want him to bite and pull my face, pull a piece of my face off. Like, I definitely need my cheeks, man. Yeah, all of them, all 4 of them. This one, and that one, and that one. I need all 4. So he's holding my face. Now the cops come in there. They rush in there. And they're like, stop fighting, stop fighting. And really, I'm like, man, I can't stop. I can't let this kid go. In my mind, I can't let him go. Now they see that he's biting me, and they're telling him, hey, stop biting. Let him go, let him go. He's not letting go. One of the cops actually puts him in a sleeper hold, right? Like, in order to try to get him off my face, I guess. They put him in a sleeper hold. They're trying to pull me, trying to get me off him. So now, once he lets go of my face, I do let him go. And when I let him go, in my mind, I said, look, I'm letting this kid go, and I'm bombing on this dude. So now, I'm not going to lie, the cops kind of got him in the chokehold. He lets go of my face, and I went absolutely, I don't think I've ever went crazy like this ever in my life. I just went absolutely nuts. Wham, 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 wham. I don't know that piece of my cheek is still there. I think that maybe there's a piece missing. There's blood all over my face. And I just go nuts on this dude. The cops grab me. They're trying to slam me. And they can't get me on the ground. They cannot slam me on the ground. I keep stopping with my foot. Big ass cop, man. For those that were in the Buffalo Federal Detention Center, I don't remember this name, but the other cop that I'm going to bring on, he'll probably remember. Bodybuilder dude, man. And he was an immigration cop, right? He was always, respectful and all that, but he was trying to get me on the ground, could not get me on the ground. I'm fighting with this dude. They take me out in the hallway. I'm out in the hallway rocking with the police now. I'm like absolutely gone upstairs, like hysterical, like, just fighting with the cops. Eventually, I calm down. I tell them I'm not going on. They keep trying to put me on the ground. I tell them I'm not going to the ground. I'm out here wrestling these cats. I'm not going to the ground. Eventually, let me just keep it 100. They get me to the ground. Somebody grabs my feet. The big muscle-bound dude's got me on the front. Boom, they get me on the ground. Big boy's on top of me. And when they're on top of you, you can't breathe, right? You're like, yo, I can't breathe. And they're like, if you could talk, you could breathe. And now they're talking shit to me. You should have stopped, asshole. Because I didn't want to stop. So they start getting crazy, start getting violent. But eventually, man, I have to give up. I'm on the ground. I can't breathe. I give up. And check this crazy shit out. The shoe is packed. The hole is packed. So they're not taking me to the hole. They're taking me back to my unit. They're going to take me back to this unit, put you upstairs. I had a cell downstairs. And they got these red signs that they put on the door. It says shoot. So they get me back. They take me back up there. They bring me, the orange jumpsuit or whatever you're supposed to wear when you're in the hole. They put that red sign on my door that says shoe. And they're like, yo, change your clothes. I'm like, man, I ain't doing shit. I ain't doing nothing. I'm bucking the system. I'm like, yo, I want out of this prison immediately. Call the marshals and get me out of here. I'm not staying here. I don't want to be here. Like, I'm objecting. Like, yo, I'm not staying here. Yeah, that sounds crazy, right? That you can tell the police that you're not staying at a prison. Well, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you can do things when you're a U.S. Marshal and get a transfer. It might not happen that day, but eventually it will. I don't want to stay in this place, although it was probably the cleanest and nicest place I had ever been since I had been in jail on my bid. But anyway, long story short, the dude Smith, he comes up there. He starts talking to me. He's like, hey, man, look, we kind of got a report, man. Do me a favor, man. Don't make me look bad. It's my unit. Just change out, man. Give me your clothes, man, whatever. He kind of calms me down. I do what he asks. He's always been respectful to me. I put the clothes on. And I'm like, man, I definitely got to get out of this spot. And eventually, I will get out of this spot. Eventually, I go to court and I refuse to go back. And the marshal's like, come on, Marks, man, don't do this. I'm like, dude, I'm not going back there. That's it. Find a different place for me. And I think after that, they end up sending me to a county jail, Yates County Jail. And eventually, I get kicked out of there, too. Back then, I was just a wild, crazy dude. But, I always tell people, even when we tell our own stories on here, there's always a moral to the story. There's always something that I want you to grasp, right? And what I want you to grasp is, obviously that prison is a crazy place. It's a dangerous place. It's a place that you really don't want to be. But it's also a place where anything can happen. Anything can happen. I could have lost a piece of my face in there, right? I mean, how would that have looked if I was on YouTube, but like my shit folded up and sewed up, teeth marks in it? And for a long time, I used to feel a bubble in my mouth, right? Like from that dude's teeth where he had bit me. But anything can happen. You can run into people anywhere. And like I said, this kid was a blood. He was getting deported, but he really lived that life. He lived that blood life after that fight, I know it's crazy, right? They put him a couple cells down to me. And what do you think happens after he puts a couple cells down from me? He's yelling back and forth, yo, I'm going to have my people get at you. Yo, this is what it is. Sex, money, murder. Wherever you go, you're in the hat. Yo. And I'm just like, but that stuff does happen. You could be beefing with a dude in one jail. And he sends a message to his people. You end up at another jail. And guess what? You got some people that you don't even know hitting you up, stabbing you, doing whatever. So it does work like that. It does work like that. And back then, I didn't understand federal prison. I didn't understand prison politics. I didn't really understand the gang life. I didn't understand none of that stuff. It was all new to me. But the moral of the story is, man, anything can happen in there. So try to live your best life. Try not to end up in that position. You don't want to end up in a place where you're beefing with some dudes that are behind a door. You don't know what they look like, but you could come out and they could see what you look like. Maybe the shower might have been down by their cell, and I had to walk past their cell, but they never had to walk past mine. And I'm in a cell trying to look, from the side of the mirror, from the side of the window to try to see what they look like, but I don't know. But they know what you look like. And if they know what you look like and they end up in a unit with you and they jump on you, the unexpected is when it's really dangerous. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. We got more to come. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. With respect, until tomorrow, we're out.